Hey YouTube, it's Caleb again with Olympus Reptiles. So I did see a couple comments on one of the earlier videos asking where Matt was. Matt, if you haven't seen, is on vacation. He retired from the police department. Can't remember, 20 some years, but I can't remember the exact amount. So he's taking like a month and a weekish sabbatical. He's down in Florida right now. So I am taking over the social media until he gets back, hopefully pretty soon, because this is rough. This is harder than I thought it would be. The snake care part's pretty easy. It's the social media part. I'm not great with it. But today we're going to have another video about our upgrades. Now this is going to be our FB40s. So these are going to be females that maybe won't be ready this year. There might be one or two, but most of them aren't going to be ready this year. It'll be kind of late this year. This coming year is what I mean by this year, and early next year, or the following year of that. So most of these aren't going to be close to ready. Now there might be a couple that sneak in there and just explode. Sometimes when you upgrade them, they really pound food down and get going, and so there might be a couple that sneak in there. First one we're going to show off is this one here. So this is a killer spinner scaleless head. So we have super pastel, pinstripe spider, scaleless head. That's quite the genes on a female. This is actually one of my favorites. I love this girl. I love how she looks. I love the white coming up. I love, you can kind of even see she's got a good amount of scaleless head up there. I don't know if you can see it that well. But pretty awesome snake. Good size. Actually, the way she eats, she could probably, based on how she looks, again, I don't have a scale on me, and sometimes when they're puffy like this, looks can be deceiving, but she may sneak in there this coming year. But beautiful snake. We produced this one in 21. This is the third clutch of 21. Female, just a beautiful snake. And this is also further proof that I think if scaleless doesn't prove to be viable, scaleless head will still have a market. It'll be a niche one, but it'll be a market, and it'd be one I would gladly work with. Because look how beautiful this snake is. I believe scaleless head, and I've showed babies when we've cut them. I've showed them in clutch updates. I believe scaleless head does make a pattern and color difference. It reduces it some. It makes the pattern nice, and cleans it up, I think. And this snake is just a perfect example of that. I love this thing. I've loved it since it could fit in the palm of my hand, and now she's getting much bigger. I can't wait to find her on a clutch of eggs of scaleless, super pastel, literally this exact snake, because the dad is a lemon blast scaleless head, so we could get this exact snake in scaleless, and I think that would be fucking sick. That would be an amazing animal. We're gonna go ahead and go on to the next one though. I'm gonna take this pin off so I can not get lost of where I was at. Those little clips just help me figure out where I need to go next. So this one is, and I'm going to read the genetics just to make sure I get this right. This is a Superfly head exanthic, female, again. I think I said that over here, but all of them are females so far that we've upgraded. So Superfly, it's really in shed, so it's really hard to get this good look of its colors. This female can be a little bit of a pain and a tricky eater, so I will keep an eye on her since we upgraded her, but I don't think she's going to have any problems. But this snake is going to be a lot of fun again. You're going to guarantee the copy of pastel in there. You're going to have fire and then exanthic running around. And I just love the colors that are going on this. And this is one that we didn't produce, right? Yes. So this was not produced. This one was acquired in a collection. I actually believe we acquired 3 or 4 snakes in that. This is one of them. One of them you did acquire. We didn't show off because it's been upgraded to a 70 for a little bit. But it was one you produced, sold to the guy, and now you have it back. And that would be that killer bee, zebra bee female that went this year. But pretty snake, lots of potential, lots of cool things you could do with that. I really do like this snake. It's kind of a pain in my butt with the feeding aspect, but we'll get that worked out. And it even has starts to really fade up there, it's starting to get a ringer up on, if I can get her to cooperate, up on her neck up there. It looks really kind of cool. I do enjoy her. She looks much better when she's not shedding. So we're going to go ahead and go on to the next one and hope that it is not shedding. But actually shedding for her is probably a good thing, just because when they start to get their own scent inside of an enclosure, It helps them kind of just get used to it. Maybe she'll go on feed pretty quickly. So this snake looks very similar to the one that I showed at the very beginning, but not the exact same. This is a killer blast. So much slightly different. This is a super pastel pinstripe. The other one I showed was a super pastel pinstripe spider scaleless head. So this is the same snake, just missing that spider and that scaleless head. Still, a really pretty snake. The yellows, the oranges, it really just, I mean, it's a really phenomenal snake. I think pinstripe is underrated. You don't see it a whole lot because a lot of people think it overpowers most things, and it does. But when you pair it just right, I think it looks phenomenal. And this is kind of a point that I talk about quite a bit. I don't really care about how many genes you stick in a snake. For me, right, gene stacking is, gene stacking. I don't really care. I've seen 2 or 3 gene combos that look better than 8 gene combos, if those 8 genes are even in there. It starts to turn to mud. For me, it's more about what complements what the best. Pastel and exanthic is one gene that is almost a necessity, right? It complements them well. Super pastel in pinstripe, and you layer in that spider, because even without the scaleless head, that would be a really cool snake, are genes that complement pinstripe really, really well. So when you're breeding, always look for what you want that project to be and what you think complements it the best, and what has a good example of that. This is a really nice example of a killer blast, in my opinion. It has everything that we want it to have. Nice patterning. The pastel doesn't really brown out that much. Again, it's super pastel, so it ages better than regular pastel. But it just looks really, really nice. We're going to go on to the next one. Where were you? I should have waited to take the pin off. I did. It's right here. So this next one, this one is the one I'm really excited for as well. It's going to step up the OD game a little bit. This is, let me get some coconut husk off you. It looks like probably on camera, I don't know how well the colors pick it up, probably just a regular GHI if you're on camera, but in person it's very obvious. This is a GHI Orange Dream. I think, again, talking about complements, you have a dark gene with a highlighter cleaning gene with OD. I think they go really, really well together. This is really fun to watch age because I really like Orange Dream, and I think GHI goes really, really well with it. And again, this girl is a really good size. So as you can see, something I want to kind of point out just looking at her, she's really, really long, but not really wide. Not thin, not like, I don't know what the word I want to use. Not like thin, like she's not eating, but just not chunky. In my opinion, that means she's going to pack on weight really, really quickly. From what I've noticed working at the zoo, animals that have kind of a longer, thinner body are going to pack on a lot of weight really quick soon. And then there's a lot of, especially in your gators at the tail base, when they get really, really fat, they're going to have a huge growth spurt in length. I've kind of noticed something similar with ball pythons. So this girl, based on her size now, I would actually not be surprised if she gets up to weight this coming season. It might be late enough in the season that we don't end up breeding her, but I'm really excited to do all the things with her. And I'm sure Curtis is as well, because that's another Orange Dream female to rack up that Orange Dream game, which is kind of funny because we had an Orange Dream female that we made several videos of that were, and I even talked about it in one of the videos we filmed last week, that might be already the one that was posted today. No, not today. Curtis is shaking his head no. That you will see before you even watch this, so that part may not even make sense. But she did go after 2 or 3 years of not going at all. So Orange Dream will start racking up. So if you do like Orange Dream, definitely jump over to that Patreon where we'll have all our snakes for sale, because we'll have quite a bit of Orange Dream coming up. Alrighty, and then we have, so this is another one that was purchased, not produced. This is a Superfly spider head exanthic, right? And now, before everyone races to the comments that says I didn't give a warning about spider, yada, 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 I know Matt does it. I'm gonna be honest, if you are, and for the new people, I will talk about spider. But if you know what spider is, you know what the potential issues are. So spider has what is thought to either be a ear deformity or neuro issue. No one has really been able to say for sure or give guarantees, but they have a little bit of wobble. Now you might find videos by people where they have this really stressed out spider where it's corkscrewing, spinning around, windmilling, whatever you want to call it, and it looks scary, and they say, don't buy spider, this is what all spiders are like. I have never in my life seen a spider do that, anything like that, right? All spiders have the issue, but if you're caring for them properly, I have never had one that did not thrive on its own, right? That first spider that was brought into captivity to breed and reproduce was an adult, right? Because there's all these people that spiders can't make it to adulthood. That was in the wild and made it to adulthood. Spiders are fine. Now, this snake, really, really pretty, actually. You almost couldn't see the spider in that with how white-ish and yellow it's got from the Super Pastel and Fire. Superflies are really amazing. And this snake, as it ages, just never ceases to fail to amaze me. Like, it's just amazing. I love it. It's definitely going to ramp up the exanthic game again because, you know, you're talking Super Pastel, going to pass that on always, going to have Fire, Spider. You could pair this to all kinds of males that we have here, except for something that has Spider, because we don't do spider to spider pairing here. And make some really cool combos. So really excited about it. This is another female that just recently started really exploding and growing. So I don't think she'll be ready this coming year, but it'll definitely be one that I'm looking forward to the following year. And none of these babies, I don't know if I really talked about these babies that I showed in this video, barring maybe one that was the one before this, are really that much of a trouble eater. So I'm not really worried about them needing to go back down a size. Nope, stick your head down. And then lastly, this is another one that you're a little stinker, that we acquired. This is a Fire Bee head exanthic female. So again, the common trend that we've had is majority of these snakes that I'm showing you are head exanthic or visual exanthic. So really ramping up that exanthic game. Everything's got Spider or Pastel or Fire in it because those are like some of the 3 best genes to put in exanthic. This one is a little Spitfire today. And you want that, you know, like you kind of want that when you're a breeder because they're usually some of the best eaters and you don't have to worry about them. And she is no exception to that. She is just incredible and she's got incredible colors. I love it. She's a little bit less washed out than that. And I know it says Fire Bee, and I'm pretty sure Fire Bee is Fire Spider head exanthic. I mean, I would not be surprised if this is actually a Firefly Spider head exanthic. You know, it has a copy of Pastel just because it's super yellow. Now, I could be wrong on that. I haven't really worked with Fire and Spider by themselves, but to me, it looks like a lot more yellow than I would expect just a Fire Spider. I could be wrong. Matt's probably typing in the comments right now, potentially, and explaining why it's more yellow and that I just need to be quiet, which, fair enough. Other than that, Curtis, do you have any questions?
Nope.
Nope. What is your favorite of all these that I just showed off?
The Orange Dream GHI.
Orange Dream GHI. Should have guessed on that one. Should have guessed on that one. So we're going to slide over to Patreon, and we're going to talk about kind of like the last video I did where I talked about what I would pair to them and then guess what I think Matt's going to want to pair to them the next season they're available.